map 1 between Order and Renegades, the grand final of Road to Rio. And as you say, Renegades are almost undefeated. In fact, they are undefeated this year as far as series is concerned. But can Order do the unthinkable and find a victory today? Well, we're going to find out as we start off here on Train.
Order, 2 sets of utility very early on, moving straight through the showers here towards Inners. Only the one player playing retake on Inners at the moment. It is just Dexter with a Molotov and a flash. They got a smoke kit for the retake on Inns, who's going to be rotating in from Ivy. I think Sicko and Dexter just looking to hit some heads as Order make their way into the bomb site. And Order, what they're looking for is a very safe plant and maybe try to get some of these Glocking pistol players up close towards that CT connector to try to disrupt the rotations.
Dexter in a very strong position though, and that's off a warning shot. Doesn't necessarily spot the T's, but now with this utility, Molotov will buy time at lowers.
Yeah, smoke's already gone into Z connector, but Renegades have floated that extra player out, and Sicko is here to help Dexter. So already the first frag of the game does go the way of Renegades. We see the bomb plant going down in a fairly open position. It's not by default, which is going to help Order out a little bit in this post plant, but Renegades have the numbers, and you kind of always back them in a situation like this.
We do see Jira slowly making his way through the flank now through Z, but now the numbers are thinning for Order. Jira, position spotted, but Renegades, they want to continue going forward. Now Ali needs to worry about this player at the back of Pop. Bomb going to be played aggressively, huge hold already, and it's all up to Sicko in the 1v3. Order turning the round on its head, but Sicko can't get to the bomb. And there it is, the flank works wonders. Jira with the double kill, and Order take the T-pistol.
Very nicely done. What was that, a 3-on-5 I think at one point?
Yep.
And then Alistair already showing some good stuff. Gyro with the flank around. That's going to be a great start here for Order. T-side, you know, it's one thing for them to get their economy going and be able to buy some guns on the T-side, but just being able to stop the opponent from getting an AWP, stop the opponent from getting full utility, it makes all the difference. Makes it a lot more easy to take that first gun round away from the CTs. It's why we see a lot of the time CTs will go for that force buy in the second round if they do lose. Usually it will be pretty scout heavy. You'll see some HE grenades, maybe some even shotguns or SMGs pushing into SL, or like maybe a bit of a inners crunch is not too uncommon, although it's pretty predictable nowadays, so it's kind of fallen out of favor.
I think that was an extremely crucial round as well for Order to take. You know, these T rounds yesterday, they were very much struggling to get as many on the board as possible. It was their CT side that looked like they were performing the best, so every single round that they can get early on in the game is crucial. Renegades, they are not going to be made light of, made fun of at all, and Order, they need to win this second round. You know that Renegades are after it here.
Yeah, I mean, so far in Road to Rio, Renegades have definitely shown that tendency to force into a round like this and actually make good usage of that round. You know, we're definitely expecting to see a couple of scouts out here, as you've said, Pilski. The Deagles for Renegades as individuals are pretty solid as well. So I don't think Renegades are particularly perturbed by the fact that they have lost that pistol. Order will certainly not be able to rest on their laurels, and it is indeed very, very early days. And the thing about what we've seen so far on Train is, right, the T side has actually been, by and large, winning a lot of the pistols. Problem has been, once we've gotten into the first gun round, the CTs have actually just ended up running away with things. You know, you think, like, oh, great, Order's up 3-0. They're in a chance where they can shut down Renegade's economy, what have you. And straight away, the first couple of gun rounds go the way of Renegades, and you're sort of back to square one. So I think for Order, you know, it's not just about this pistol. It's not just about this anti-eco. We really have to keep an eye on the gun rounds as well, because at the end of the day, games of Counter-Strike are won and lost in the gun rounds.
Well, that stat, pretty irrelevant. Hopefully buffing up Jira and Justilo's pistol percentage there. Obviously, Justilo did fall first, but Jira certainly working some wondrous maneuvers there with the Glock himself. Now, this is not looking like a usual Australian game. I thought we were in Asia for a moment with the tech pause second round.
Yeah, just a bit of a technical pause to start things off. You always love it. It kind of adds to the suspense, gives us a bit of extra time to break down this matchup. Although, I don't know how much there really is to break down. I guess given the fact that Renegades did get a 2-0 over Order already in the competition here in Road to Rio, is something that'll be weighing on Order's shoulders a little bit. But with that said, it also gives them a bit of material to go back on, especially given the fact that the maps are the same, Train and Inferno. Dust 2 being an outlier going into that third map of the series, but I guess we have to get there first. And for Order, you know, they definitely want to focus on Train and Inferno. It was 16-11 here on Train when they did lose to Renegades earlier on, and 16-12 on Inferno. So it's not like this is a complete whitewash. And I have to say, I thought Order wasn't probably performing the way that they would have hoped to have in that match as well. So I actually think that there's another level that Order can hit.
I mean, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth in some of the interviews. They definitely felt like that game was winnable. Just a few things not going ideally for them. And, you know, in most games, yeah, it's won and lost on the gun rounds. Between Order and Renegades, it seems to be less of a factor. Because these Deagle forces and the eco rounds, you know, the pistols seem to always come across the line for both teams, really. Adds a whole nother dimension to it, and the games really do start to get messy from time to time.
So we'll take a look at the map stats for Train, as that is the first map that we're about to head into here between Order and Renegades. In fact, we have headed into it already. It doesn't feel like it, though. And actually, on paper, it's not a terrible map here for either team, really. I guess as far as the map is concerned for Renegades, it is one that they have been looking a little bit more susceptible on. But when we did have that interview, actually, I think it was with Dexter at the end of the match of Order against Renegades, or one of the matches, we sort of asked him, you know, how are you feeling about Train and, you know, that susceptibility, or at least that perceived susceptibility that we've seen from you guys on it. And he said that they've actually been working on it quite a lot recently, and it's now one of the more comfortable maps in the pool for them. So yeah. I don't know whether or not Order saw that interview, but perhaps that's a bit of a curveball for them that they weren't really expecting.
I mean, you got to work on something eventually as Renegades, don't you? They're just so good at everything else. You lose a couple, you go, oh, finally, I got something to improve on domestically. I think mostly the main thing that they would be focused on, and I think you've seen it in terms of when we talk to Dexter, is just playing their 100% and not getting complacent and keeping the practice up, because that's going to help their consistency. The main difficulty for them seems to be actually going international and cracking the group stage into the playoffs, rather than making it overseas or having any trouble domestically in the region. So being able to get a coach who's got experience internationally and is going to help them improve even further, I think it's a good step. It's a good move.
I guess the way that you improve once you're already at the top is just expand on what you know, so you have more depth to your strategy. As he said the other day, they're focusing on going for much slower approaches in a lot of those rounds on their T side, rather than just playing off protocols and going, okay, we're going to push this extremity of the map, and then once we're taking contact here, oh, this is a good time for someone to push on the other side, and just keep the defenses guessing. Now, with the slow approach and a more structured approach, they already have the chemistry. They already have the skill to make it happen. But it's just another level of depth to that strategy that they are able to bring to the game.
Now, well, I know that the game's paused, guys, and I know you really want to see this matchup. But unfortunately, again, for the third day in a row, Elfish Guy is holding us hostage. And he said, if you don't go follow him on Twitter right now and get him 3,100 followers, he won't start the game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you don't do that, I'm going to call for a break. In fact, I might just do it anyway, Pilsky. What do you reckon? Hold the game hostage.
Don't do it, guys. Come on. We need a band together here.
Don't make me do it.
I'd just like to throw it out there that I'm not making anyone go follow me at @mac_is_trash. I'm not asking you to do that at all. Please unfollow me if anything.
Okay, I tell you what, guys, I do have some rather unfortunate news. We don't actually have an end in sight to this technical pause, so we are going to call for a break. That gives you plenty of time to head over to Twitter and follow @PilskyCasts. And for now, we'll go and take a drink and get some food and get ready for this first game. We'll be back when Order and Renegades are ready to play.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
To be brilliant is to defy convention and challenge expectations. So Intel will bring the processing power for when it's time to go brilliant. Frame rates that keep up with your reflexes. Brilliant. Fast clock speeds for when you're on the clock. Brilliant. It's what we do at Intel, powering you to master your potential. Will you rise? Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Last year, we took 2 lucky winners on a trip to Berlin and gave them the experience of a lifetime. This year, we can take you for a trip to Rio. Take part in a series of GG.bet contests for a chance to win awesome prizes and a trip to Rio. See details on the website.
Cause nobody else is showing any empathy. Rudely awake and quiet undertaking. Did I do something wrong? Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here with my thoughts alone? I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this. I'm so sorry that I didn't go to therapy. Thinking everybody, even you's an enemy. Brutally awake and quiet undertaking. Did not do nothing wrong. Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here to get drunk alone? And I don't wanna wake up messed up, cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, cause I don't wanna be.
ESL 1 Road to Rio is brought to you in part by Intel, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and GG.bet.
Order and Renegades, if you missed the pistol round before that tech pause, it did go the way of Order, but Renegades have indeed force bought into the round, and they'll look to hold off this anti-eco now Order.
Well, the force is always a bit of a snag that Order do tend to trip up on. Let's see if this Innes hit is going to help them avoid that one.
Well, here's the coordinated push out uppers. It is going to be Val falling there. Dexter Close going to be traded out as well. Nade into a great position. Big damage onto Usillo, but it doesn't stop that bomb from being planted. Now, it is a passive rotation from Renegades. No one coming in on the flank. It is going to be strength in numbers, looking to push down the lanes together on the retake.
That's difficult, though, because Malta has been mollied off there in Z Connector. A pop flash goes out as Alistair will use that as refuge to have a little bit of look-see what Renegades are doing. They certainly are taking their time in moving into the bomb site, but Ins to open the account. Usillo goes down, and there may be a few more frags for him here now that he has an AK in hand. Has to dive onto the defuse. Jyra does just tickle him with those last couple of shots, which will mean Sicko now has no option really but to try and get a bit of extra damage done. Maybe save that scout because the round is over. He'll fall to the bomb. Jyra knows it. Round does end up going the way of Order, but it was a mighty close one in the end.
Yeah.
You say he knew it, but as you could see, he didn't actually notice that he killed the bomb diffuser for a second. He went for another spray and then managed to pull it back.
So, Renegades looking to potentially upgrade some pistols, or maybe they'll just full save with USPs. They did quite a lot of damage in the last round, so investing in some pistols definitely couldn't hurt in terms of just trying to get a few kills on the board, but instead they're going to full save. They're opting to really rely on that utility, really valuing getting those AWPs. And Order, they're just going to go straight down SL.
Malta's just got a flashbang here, and so realistically not a whole lot in this one for Renegades, but you know, we've seen them pull off some pretty weird rounds here and there already. In's looking for some positioning down on long. Fortunately for Hats, he's not able to really do too much damage when he was unspotted and will be quite easily swept aside. This is looking comfortable for Order. Nice job done just watching all of the extremities and ensuring that nothing too crazy goes on. Although Ustilo hits a nice double bink with that USP and even another one onto Alistair. It's really not going to keep Renegades in this round.
Yeah, solid anti-eco coming out with 4 alive still. Let's see if Dexter can maybe get his hands on an AK or something. There's a MAC-10 there, but any extra damage is slow and steady damage to the economy. But that's going to be 3 on the board already for Order, so a solid start to their map pick. Oh, and that's going to be $600 extra in the bank for Val as well.
Yeah, and after closing out that anti-force in the anti-eco, they do actually keep 4 players surviving, so that's definitely going to help Order's money start to build up here. Sicko getting his hands on the AWP. We've got a whole lot of utility across the board for Renegades here in this first CT gun round. Let's see what Order's got in store for us. This would be a great round to be getting for themselves, as they can potentially get the 4th and then put Renegades on yet another eco and get up to a 5-0 start. That would definitely be the dream for Order. But I'm not sure Renegades is going to let them get that comfortable.
Again, you can see that Order are just progressively using that utility to maintain control of Ivy. Get on the line and not fall too early. 2 players on the short side of T-Con there, just structured, ready to fend off any aggression from Renegades. The aggression will come over towards the yard instead. You've already got Hats down in SL, as well as Malta, actually very aggressive. Flash comes in, and Gyra, no idea. At least Val is there, close for the trade.
1 for 1, and again, Renegades show that tendency to try to be the ones on the front foot. Haven't spotted the bomb, of course, so Order still have plenty of options here.
Looking like Order going to set up this out as executes. Probably a smoke in towards SL, I think I saw lined up. One onto E-Box. Hats getting flashed into T-Con, though. It's going to completely disrupt this push.
Alistair may look for the trade, but we're forced away by the incendiary, and that now is a little bit of map control for Renegades that Order aren't going to be too pleased to have to deal with. And I think they might end up defaulting back to the B bomb site here. You can already see Ricky edging his way down ramp, as he has done so much here in Road to Rio, but we talked about it potentially working against players like what we see on Chiefs and having a bit more difficult time against a player like Dexter, and that is exactly why. Dexter's just way too prepared.
The money nade, the last piece of utility used perfectly for Renegades. Dexter getting it done. And look, big brain as well to not allow that timing from Ricky. That's going to be Renegades cracking the egg and putting their first round on the board.
Yeah, they both just, you saw it there, cop that HE grenade, and then they run into this 2-man crossfire between Inns and Dexter trying to cross to the bomb site. It's a nightmare. Order in that 4-on-4, they had their chances, but Renegades didn't let them sort of get comfortable there. Alistair, very brave, jumping straight out to Brown.
Oh!
This is his opportunity, unfortunately, and that's going to be a 5-on-4 for Renegades.
Realised that he was very far out in the open and unscoped to try to get to the back of Red, but unfortunately for him, Renegades reacted much too quickly for him.
I'm starting to get a sense of the exact situation that I was outlining before we went into that break. Order starts off with a pistol. Things are looking okay for them, but then as soon as the gun rounds eventuate, Renegades are just too good there. And it doesn't matter what kind of economic advantage you have, even if you're on the T side. If Renegades are going to keep 3 or 4 guns alive in a couple of gun rounds in a row, they're going to get off to the races. And we're starting to see that tipping point.
Smokes onto Sandwich and E-Box as Order with 50 seconds on the clock start to make their way out of T-Con. Ustilo looking to backstab through Ivy.
See how the timing goes on the push now. It is just Gyra and Val both looking for the contact here at Outers. Stilo now starting to make his move forward, but the crunch won't come because Malta's almost on the line, pulls out utility, hats from above, rains some fire straight down, and it's back to the 3v2,
Wow.
but a huge shot from Stilo gets Order back in the round.
And still a 2-on-2 here, so it's not job well done yet for Order. Sicko, he's missed a sitter. And can Order make him pay for that? That's the question coming now as Dexter will work his way up onto the bomb train. He spots both. And Ustilo very low on HP now. Dexter just getting that timing right, finishes him off as well. And in the end, it won't matter whether or not Sicko hits that shot because Dexter finishes it himself.
That was classic Dexter, just getting the perfect timing, absolutely, and then gets up on the bomb train, spots both of Order trying to get to their post plans, doesn't even give them an opportunity to set up. And Renegades, again, 2 rounds off the back of some great decision-making coming out from Dexter.
Order not without their opportunities in those last 2 rounds. You saw in the 4-on-4, they were just waited a little bit too long to make something happen, and Renegade with the pop flash in towards that T-Con. Sent Hat straight in to get that man advantage, and then in that last round, the 2-on-2, if it was played just a little bit better there for Order, they definitely could have made something work, but now, unfortunately, Order, they've let those 2 rounds fall by the wayside. They are forced onto an eco, and they're not even doing any damage to Renegades here, who are looking to build up their economy and build up their dominance here on the CT side of Train.
You could see that they just tried that airstrike over towards the A bomb site as well, which has netted them a couple of kills in the previous few days, as we were saying yesterday. But this time, you can see that Renegades, they are fully aware that that is a situation, especially on those ecos that Order goes for. So they just reroute, go around the bomb train, and take minimal damage from the HEs. Oh, Ince doesn't actually know that they've gone forward here. Boost is up and missed opportunity. Bit of attack through the wall onto Ustilo. But look, Shadow spotted. Malta had Val's number, but Val did the ringing.
You know, now that you mention Ince, I will actually be pretty interested to see whether or not Order try to abuse that area of the map again. You know, he was playing over to Ivy, and I mean, he always plays over to Ivy on the CT side, but in the match against Order, at the start of Road to Rio, Inz was definitely struggling. Alistair was finding a lot of opening picks, particularly when he had the AWP in hand.
Yeah, but
against
last time,
Inz.
Inz didn't have the secondary AWP.
That's true.
Last time he was using the rifles, so maybe he's already... That is the adaptation we're already seeing, Jordan. Could be the case.
Pretty cool to sort of note something like that, though. You know, you don't really get that opportunity very much, particularly in the ANZ region, because it's quite rare that we get to see teams playing against each other in such a short amount of time, right? The last time before we saw Renegades and Order playing here in Road to Rio was the 7th of March, which was about a month ago, and then prior to that was the 15th of January, which was even a few months before that. So you just don't often get to see matches back-to-back kind of like this, and you really don't get to see those tendencies and keep an eye on them.
It's not often you see somebody get the better of Dexter on the timing, but Ricky's managed to do it over towards Inner, and that's going to be a man advantage for Order. Don't expect Renegades to stay still for too long, though, in this 5-on-4. You are seeing Malta start to move upper ramp, but there you go. Gyra straight out of T-Con with the flash from Ustilo.
Yeah, catches Hats on the edge of the smoke. So that's 2 Renegades players already falling in those smokes. But speaking of falling, it's Malta who needs to make his way down SL. And if the timing's correct, he could just deny this bomb plant. Although Ricky switched on, aware of the situation. Ince trying to hold off the troops now. But Malta, there's that timing we were talking about. AK retrieved, and Renegades still have an opportunity here.
You really wouldn't be surprised to see Sicko fire a shot off through this smoke and hit it as well. He's just that kind of player. But the bomb plant is now going down. We're really, at this point, I'd say, waiting for Malta to work his way into T-Con. Inz can't hit that shot. Alistair with some fancy footwork. And with that kill, Renegades will give the round up.
I think that was one too many guns for them to be losing. It's going to take a bit of a toll on their money. Although, if Malta holds on to this, you would see probably Sicko drop Dexter, and they would be able to buy up. But Order getting across the line, not letting this get too far away from them.
Yep. That's one of the important pieces of the puzzle for Order, is keeping Renegades honest and making sure that Renegades have to kind of keep working hard for these rounds. Otherwise, they really do, once they get on top, just kind of tend to go on these streaky runs.
This is the critical one, though. This is the money breaker for Order. Renegades, considering whether they even want to invest here, and they will be doing so. So Order, here's their chance to really start to run away with this on the T side and break the CT economy.
Now kicking things off. Looks like Ali will be heading straight through Whitehall's over towards upper B. Slow approach though. Don't want to go dropping down there making too much noise. Dexter ready and waiting at the bottom of ramp here. Molly in hand. He's going to be spotted. Ali fully aware.
There's more aggression toward T-Con that found the opening pick for Malta, but Alistair does find a nice entry. Walking into the B bomb site, Dexter again falls. But Hats is in such a good position. Shuts down the bomb carrier, will be traded down by Valiance. All said and done, not too bad here for Order. But Inz has started to work his way out from CT spawn and catches a little glimpse of Alistair. That's revenge for the last round. Malta has gotten behind Valiance, but he's too good.
Speaking of two, it's all even here. 2v2, Sicko trying to work the timing on the retake. Two taps onto Val as well. The magic number, it seems, and isn't going to stick. It forces Ricky forward. Ricky fortunate to be in midair and dodge that damage from the AWP. Now just trying to close the distance. Sicko has to go for the no-scope, and it doesn't work out. Ricky gets it done. Bit of BM there as well. And that's another round on the board. Order with 5 on the T side. Is that enough already?
Well, it's going to be 6 because that was the economy breaking round. What a crucial 2v2 to be closing out there. And Order in a 5-on-4 disadvantageous situation for them. Alistair just takes it into his own hands, dives straight down lower ramp, gets straight in Dexter's face. You can see he had no idea that Alistair was just going to run at him, and why would you? And then from that 4-on-4, they lock down that CT connector rotation, make it very difficult for Renegades to come back onto that inner bomb site. And even though it comes down to the 1-on-1, the fact that Order get it done makes such a big difference here on their map pick.
Even if they don't, it would have put Renegades into a poor economic situation. But now is where Order have that chance of actually running away with the first half and putting the pressure back onto Renegades, which we haven't even seen them really under at all here in Road to Rio. You're doing a great job of walking into the A bomb site, and the rest of Order finish off the scraps. 6-3 now for Order. But this is really just the start for Order, you know? Like, they can't let it rest here. They can't let Renegades go back to 9-6. Order needs to keep pushing here, and they need to keep pushing Renegades back further and further and further away from a potential win.
Well, if we're looking at the current form today, you know, every day is different. Order have been doing such a great job. Look, it's 3 for 3 for 3. If we do see that pattern continue, Renegades will find 3 here, but it's not all about patterns all the time. It is about how they play in every given round. And let's see what Order decide to go for. That faster approach over towards the B site certainly working out.
Yeah,
if we have a look at the spawns, Ali again has another spawn to go for an aggressive play.
It's been one of the main things that Order's been doing, just diving on that inner bomb site to sort of get themselves out of a sticky situation. The difference really being, if you're looking at Renegades here, they don't have money for the AWP. And that's just the difference between a T side that keeps pressure on that CT economy.
But here it is, Ali already looking for the opening. No one playing at con early, and no crossover to SL. Eventually comes through. Hat survives. Another missed opportunity.
What I will say is Alistair is at least having a much better first half here than what we saw against Chiefs.
His hands are very good today. Caught that grenade perfectly.
That's going to rough him up a little bit. Wouldn't want to see that beautiful hair under any stress.
Or it could come crumbling down.
Oh, it certainly can. I know what it's like having hair that's
perfect.
Having hair.
Yeah, so humble, Jordan.
So relatable, just having hair, you know.
Sometimes, you know, it feels good to have hair.
Sorry to any people who are balding or moulding in the chat.
In particular. Yeah. Sorry for your loss. Anyway, it's Order that's moving their way into a site, and it's a 1-for-1. Malta's down early. Again, they're expecting that aggression out from Renegades into T-Con, and now Hats is going to fall. Inz is spotted. This is looking nice for Order. Luckily, though, at least as far as Renegades is concerned, Inz is coming up massive. There goes Jyra as well, and he is just a sole man locking down the A bomb site, providing time for the rotations to come across, and all of a sudden, Order has to slow down.
Ricky creeping forward. We had him as a highlighted player for a reason, and it could be the crunch here onto Hell. They know that Ince is in this position, but there was a whole lot of trust put on it to Dexter there, but it's both of them falling, and Ricky gets it done, looking huge as well. 7.
You had
on
to
the
back
board.
him. You had to back him
You
in a
had to.
situation like that. You know, 1-on-3, even though he did have a teammate there, he's done it all himself. And Ricky has been the standout for Order here in Road to Rio. And it was one of those rounds where you can really just feel it. As soon as he hits the first and then the second, you're like, you know what? He's getting the third as well, isn't he?
He just read the rotation so perfectly there. He knew where all 3 of those CTs were, completely switched on. And just like in the Skybox segment, I mean, Ricky and Ustillo were the main 2 men, you know, locking a lot of stuff down. In that 2-on-2 before the critical one that they won, it was Ricky and Ustillo. In that 2-on-2 again, it's Ricky and Ustillo. They're getting it done for Order.
Whoa. Malta given an opportunity. One more bullet to try to secure that kill onto Ricky, but Molotov's flushing him straight over the site. Look at that. 4 mollies invested to that position. Dexter, fast flank, managed to go straight up. B-Ramp gets his hands on an AWP. The comms are coming through, but you can see that Order not reacting in time. It's going to be the push straight into the pistols, and Renegades in a matter of moments get themselves free upgrades rather, with 3 alive at the end. That was ridiculous.
That's the round. That's the round that Renegades always seems to get from somewhere. You know, just when you think Order's on top, Renegades are like, you know what, we're the better team in this game, and here's a force buy win. And wasn't even really a force buy, it was more just pistols. And here we go again.
You go to training and you see the coach blowing the whistle, and that's when you get straight off the mark. That's exactly what happened there. Someone said, all right, boys, go, and then they just did.
It's pretty ridiculous. These are the kind of rounds that Renegades gets away with all the time. Just so much individual skill and pistoling prowess on this roster. So now Order, after a couple of rounds that came down to close XVX situations that got a little bit expensive for them, that snowball effect where that round in the anti-eco should have been where they built up their economy has unfortunately gone by the wayside. They've missed that opportunity and they've lost a hell of a lot of cash. So they're going to have to pretty much invest what they have left just to try to keep streaking ahead on the T side. But I have to say, though, they've already got 7 boys. But, you know, we've said it a million times. You can never get complacent against the best team in your region. It doesn't matter whether you talk about Asia. Doesn't matter if we're talking about Renegades. You need as much as you can get on the T side here of Train, because we saw like a 12-3 from D13 against Tyloo the other night.
Not only that,
they almost brought it back.
I'd say Order are well aware of that fact, given they were down 12-3 or 13-2, I think it actually was, against Chiefs yesterday.
We've seen it a couple times.
They were able to come back from that. So do not rest on your laurels.
Well, slow and steady from Order. Pretty passive 1-3-1. That is not a great pick to be losing. That's going to put a lot more pressure on Order. And let's see what their response is going to be. It looks like they're just going to go for the tried and tested in the 4-on-5. When things get difficult, go towards inner.
Gyro would have spotted him there as well and thought he had the line, but Hat's just ripping into it with the AK. From this position, he's going to hear this execute come through as well, and Renegades in great positions to go for a rotation.
Look at Inns. He's already pushed it all the way through Ivy.
Malta deep into the site as well, alongside Dexter. They're very aware that it's going to be a hit from the upper side.
Look at the rotates. Sicko's coming over as well.
This is not going to work at all for Order, is it? Dexter's gotten 2 there. Not necessarily expecting Malta, but Ustillo cottons on pretty quick, and at the very least, we'll be able to see a bomb plan. That's a big pick for Alistair to get.
Great cover. It's just enough to secure the bomb plant, but now this flank is still coming through from Ince.
2-on-2, it's winnable for Order. And I wouldn't have thought that would be the case after the rotation came across for Renegades. Alistair just needs to hit this shot onto Ince. It's such a big moment in the round.
Oh, but how's the timing? Ali has had Ince's number every time so far, and he'll do it again as well. Now it's all up to Hats, the man that left Order stranded to head to the Renegades. Can he do it in the 1v2?
He doesn't have much time. That's sitting on the defuse here. Alistair will surely peak. It's actually Ustillo. Either way, Order have won the round 8-4. And a big one to win because it puts Renegades back into that reset territory.
And again, when the going gets tough, Order goes to inner. 4-on-5, they go straight in towards that inner bomb site. They get the bomb down and they've resolved another post plant. And sure, Renegades, they've got away with, you know, that pistol win in that round before.
Order are molding.
I don't think they're molding right now.
The difficult thing is, right,
The hair's growing back out of their skull.
the last time the Order lost this series in Road to Rio, all of the clutches seem to be going against them.
That's true.
And we're seeing the difference maker this time. Every single clutch, it seems, going Order's way so far.
Yep. Bit of a attack pause coming out there for Renegades, which is definitely a good time for it because right now their economy is pretty weird. They've got 3 players that can buy properly, 2 players that can't.
CSGO already got MP5 armor.
Exactly. Only a couple of rounds left in the half here, so it does look like Renegades are actually going to force into this round and try to get those last remaining 2 or 3 rounds, I suppose here actually it is. Ooh, he didn't have an MP5. Maybe they've reset it. I don't know what's going on there. I definitely saw an MP5 as well, though. Has he chucked it on the ground? I don't know.
Did they reset? Might have been a misbuy.
I think they reset
it.
I think they've reset it.
Yeah.
So, Renegades don't decide to force buy in. So they're quite happy at least to give Order the 6th, or the perception would be that they would be expecting to lose this round. Oh. Might not happen!
Oh.
Ooh, he does end up getting shut down before the death sentence, but even that is going to be tough to come back from for Order.
2.5 kills already. Now Jyra, Val and Ricky need to pull their way back in because Ustillo and Ali that have been so solid so far for Order, they're out of it. Jyra has opted for the AWP of his own. He's already been tagged down to 36 HP. Still some good utility to create some space now. Ricky coming out of SL has to really worry about hats, and he's got Overwatch from Sicko.
Dexter's flanking in from Inners as well. Surely this can't go pear-shaped for Order.
They lost a pistol before. That's a free lineup. All the timing. Allowing Ricky to survive. Val now tagged up as well. The Deagle's dishing so much damage so far for Renegades and Dexter. This is going to be a free flank. Great accuracy as he hits the ground with the MP9 there. And it's all falling apart for Order here in the 13th round. There's another Malta on it with the Scout. And Jyra, he's got some time. He's got the bomb, but he's got 4 of the Renegades to get past.
Malta used to be the secondary AWP before this Renegades roster, so pretty handy with the scoped weapons. Jyra's going to try and chuck the AWP out of the map, but might be a bit difficult. And ooh, hang on.
Not like this.
Look, at least he can aim better than he can chuck the weapons off of the map.
Oh my!
Sure.
What are you doing, Jyra? He hit the ground.
He got a bit
running.
flustered there, didn't he?
He's managed to get the AWP just far enough away, but that's the second force that Renegades has won, or half by rather.
Look, I understand that Jyra is a unit. He is a jacked bloke, but those shoulders couldn't get out of the ramp there.
It's ridiculous. Now Order's broke. But, you know, 8 rounds is pretty good, but it's just...
It could have been 10.
Every time, man. Every time these Deagles come out for Renegades, Scouts, MP9s, they just can't put a foot wrong. They connect all the shots.
Yeah, look, getting 8 rounds is not an excuse still for then ending up losing 2 eco rounds, or 2 anti-ecos. When you consider this could have been 10 or 11 or 12 in the half in the end for Order, and now it's kind of looking like it might end up being even still 8-7. I don't know. Be a force buy through for Order.
Renegades has looked pretty flashy on their T side of train as well, boys.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're coming pretty flat-footed into this matchup. Order impressing me. I thought we would see a very one-sided affair here in the first half, as Renegades did get that CT side. So far, so good for Order on their map pick. And again, it looks like it's going to be a faster approach. Everyone heading together over towards the brown halls. It's just Dexter on the B site to hold. Molly not going to stop Ricky, who's getting very aggressive down lower.
Wow, no rotation, even though we heard him burning, or Dexter probably heard him burning. Only now is there a rotate over from Sicko.
Nicely timed re-smoke for Renegades, and this HE nade could cause some pretty significant damage. Fairly hefty tickle onto Alistair.
Ricky's the only one with the flash here, so the flash coverage of Inner is really not going to be good enough for Order to be able to get into this site. They're literally going to have to run into some CT sight lines and hit some very clean shots to get into Inners here, boys.
And it's a solid position for Dexter to play from as well. We've seen him multi-fragging there a few times here in Road to Rio. But Order are going to have to give it a crack anyway. Let's see how they manage it. A 1-for-1 onto Dexter. They're aware of it, but they still have Sicko to deal with. working their way out into the bomb site. Now, at least a plant has gone down for Order. So time working against Renegades for now.
Yeah, great line being held there by Sicko as well, just to control the whole left side of the site for the retake. Now, he's going to continue to creep forward as the boys here with just 2 AKs and a Deagle need to work past the final couple of CTs. There it is, Malta. He's going to be found. It's up to Ince and Sicko, who are potentially going to back out. Ince going forward, though, all the way to Pop now. Straight down the first lane. Oh, this is dangerous. Not spotted just yet. Finds the first, flicks across. But Val is there to manage to take him down as well. Sicko falling to Gyra. And Order, I didn't think they'd be able to win that in the post plant.
Yeah, that's actually a huge win, though, for Order. Look at what it's done to the Renegades' economy.
Yeah,
Kept it very simple. They've just thrown bodies and inner, gotten the bomb down, and then just taken some nice stalls with the AKs. You could see Gyra and Valiant's just picking some great timings to peek out down that inner train yard and pick off the CTs as they, aren't really expecting those pushes to come in. And Order, a very simple round, but very well executed. It's put Renegades in a very rough economic position, and Ricky just runs out T-Con with a great spawn and bangs off Malta's head.
Seems it'll be a solid resurgence at the end of the half here for Order, despite losing a couple of questionable rounds. To get to 10 on the T side is a very, very fine feat.
Order would have heard this as well. Hats taking full control of T-Con now. But with that flash, does it signal that no one's in SL? Doesn't seem to. Order looking to play their own game right now, just grouping up again and focusing towards that B site, because it's worked a fair few times now here in the first half.
Dexter with the MP9 is holding close and may well still be the hero here for Renegades. Oh no! Order have given him 2. Ricky has to get across, but he doesn't hold the bomb. And the nade is too good from Sicko. That'll deny the plant and buy even more time for Renegades to rotate across, but Order have other ideas. They've backed out. They'll go to A quickly. As
this is happening, though, Sicko's pushed all the way up underneath Catwalk there. So even though Renegades have committed to the cause, committed to the rotate, Order just haven't gone back to the A site in time, and this has allowed Ince and Hats both to position over towards Ivy there. They're still playing together, looking to trade Hats out with the M4. There's the info, and bomb spotted as well. 20 seconds, and Order, they're running out of time here.
Well, they have a couple of smokes at the very least, so they'll be able to utilize them to make it easier to get into the site. Sicko lurks down SL, and Ustillo not even watching the USP. More than enough for that one. Alistair in a 1-on-3 now.
Manages to secure the bomb plant. He does have his weapon of choice in hand, but it's all a matter of timing now. Again, might just work it onto Ince and spots him, but Ince gets the headshot, and that'll do it for the half.
I was getting the feeling maybe Alistair might just do this, but Renegades sneak away with another pretty interesting one where they do kind of come in with a bit more of a half buy than anything else. That could have been a far worse half for Renegades, but they do at least manage 6. Still, the major winners from that one, of course, Order getting 9 on the T side of Train, and they will look to the second half of Train to complete the campaign here on map 1.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother. just to survive with you. I feel alive, now I'm feeling like to the fine, will it stand the test of time? Right now I need a sign. Tell me if it's over, come a little closer. We should take our time to think this damn thing over. Should we grow closer? Should this be over? My heart for your mind, probably we should start over.
Order ahead 3 rounds here at the half between them and Renegades, but they want to be ahead 1 map here this time, Jordan. Last time they really failed to do that, but hopefully they can at least put themselves on the front foot.
Well, they really haven't had a better chance than this against Renegades for the better part of probably the entirety of this year. Now, admittedly, they have already beaten Renegades once on train. That was back in the minor qualifier where they got a 16-14 over them. But that is not necessarily going to be what ends up happening here for Renegades. Down 9-6, they did win a couple of eco rounds, so Order could have had a much better half than they did, but you'd still say 9 is good as we head into the second half pistol, and it starts pretty nicely for Order. You still can't quite find that kill onto Hats, but Valiance is there to grab it, and really, Order have just run through Renegades like a freight train, for lack of a better word. 10-6 now, the scoreline, and they're off to the races here in the second half.
It was Renegades doing the run-in, but the structure from Order there just positioned all the way down Old Bomb, around Bomb Train as well, just able to go bait and switch, 1-2, left, right, peek, peek, and just stopped anything from happening. The bomb was unable to cross, got stuck there at the back of Bomb Train, and look, it was a very solid start to the second half for Order as well, taking both the pistols so far.
Yeah, great counter flashes from Ricky as well. It can be pretty easy in the pistol round to just turn your brain off, buy a smoke and go, hey, it's pretty good to throw that on the retake for inners and just try to ninja defuse. But those counter flashes were the key there for Order. And Renegades, I'm pretty sure, just holding W into the meat grinder. Very quick anti-eco puts Order up 11-6.
Okay.
They really are keen to just hit that fast forward button on that eco round and get straight into the rest of the game.
It's exactly as you said. They want to get up 1-0. They want to put that pressure back onto Renegades, because for all the talk that we've had coming into this grand final of Renegades being the best team in ANZ, what have you, there's always the chance, there's always a possibility that Order just comes out here, beats Renegades, and then we have a pretty interesting period for ANZ Counter-Strike over the next few months.
What's to say I wasn't taking the sponge approach of just saying that there's no hope for Order and hoping that I jinx it?
Wouldn't be the first time. Remember what happened last night between Vici and Tai Lu?
Yeah, well, there you go. So
Well,
maybe I've got the bug.
I still stand D13, boys. That's all I'm going to say. Unfortunately, they didn't get it done either.
My man stands D13, but he doesn't stand Tiger. Rest in peace, Urcast.
Sazerki.
11-6 though, the scoreline, and Order have opted to keep a few of those guns through from the previous round, not upgrading. So Renegades have the better of the buys, at least for the moment, but starting to lack a bit of utility now on that T side.
Malta just looking for this SL control. He makes his way down with Ivy. It looks like it is postured to be the A split, but that is going to be SL control regained. As Val goes in dry, works the timing with the FAMAS and gets himself an upgrade to the AK as well, although he hasn't gone for it yet. He's too worried about a second man dropping.
That
Nice.
was a collab.
It's a pretty nice tag for Alistair to grab. Hats and Ins are hanging on their last legs at the moment. The rest of Renegades are going to have to do the dirty work. It's Sicko that will sacrifice a bit of his HP for that kill onto Valiance, but I'm sure he'll take it. Ustillo continues to put in the good work, though, for Order, as he's been quietly plugging away in this map. That's his 16th frag now, coming in round number 18. And Dexter is alone. Put another one up on the board for Ustillo and another one up on the board for Order, as they're now 12-6, doubling the scoreline of Renegades.
Just smack him on the tally.
Pretty consistent performance across the board from Order so far. You love to see it. Everyone's sort of stepping in just when they needed to. And I really thought there was going to be something in that round there for the Renegades as they cleaned Valiance out of SL and started to split with all 4 players through T-Con and SL onto that outer bomb site. But Order, nicely cleaned up from them. Didn't look like they were pushed at all.
Yeah, statistics say that that would be the round that Renegades would win, right? Their first gun round of the half. They just don't care about the other ones. You could see they were just trying to get on to the rifles, but it didn't really help them out. And now they're just on some pistols, looking for the deco and looking for some extra damage. Ricky, already down to 27 HP, will be forced to use that Molotov and stop Malta in his tracks. Order happy just to play those long lines, winning the bonus round of the previous with some damage.
No, not again, boys.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Not going to happen again, surely.
Surely it can't happen again. This would be the 3rd for Renegades if they were to win this 4-spy, but luckily, Ustilo and Valiance are able to put a few noggins off their shoulders. Malta does hit a nice shot with the Deagle, but at this point, it's still looking like it's more a search for damage rather than the round win for Renegades. One more kill, though, can certainly tip that. And that is it. Ustilo down. Malta feeling crisp right now with a Deagle. He'll start to work his way into B. Dexter has left the bomb in T-spawn, so he can go back and collect that. But he'll have a long run to make it to that B bomb site, considering Ricky has already jumped up SL.
He's one-hittable, though. Doesn't need a headshot here, Dexter, but doesn't pick his timing right. And now the bomb's too far away for Malta to be able to pick that back up and go back to inner. Oh,
he could just make it.
I don't think he's got enough time, Jordan.
He could make it if Ricky wasn't here, but Ricky's here, so it should be a lost round. There's
I don't think 9
stealer.
seconds was going to be enough for him to pick that up and go back.
No, probably not.
No, he had 6, and that's not enough to get from that point to B point and get that bomb planted.
Still, that's some great damage onto Order, taking a few guns off of them.
Sure.
And that's exactly what Order did great on their T side. They kept the CTs honest.
Yeah, but it's also Order up to 13, so how many chances does Renegades have left here?
How many do they need? 1.
They might really only have 1 or 2.
Well, Chiefs did it yesterday from a larger gap than this, so there is still a chance for Renegades, and this is where it starts.
Would be good to see Order finish this off strongly as well. Definitely would help them in terms of the confidence heading into the second map of Inferno. Yep. They just want to see them finish this off cleanly, because if Renegades continues to push them,
well,
get more difficult.
He's down early on in the piece, and he's the only player on that B bomb site.
I reckon it's hard save from here.
Yeah, the money's not there to invest if they lose too many more, so...
Yeah. And he went down so early on in the piece without really getting much damage done. Renegades have already made it so far up this inner's train yard.
Gyra, I reckon he just goes for it, because he wants to go for the upgrade anyway. He just has that FAMAS and a nade and a dream.
Yeah, some of them have looked alright on the FAMAS. Malta might be keen to give him that upgrade, but maybe not.
Malta's a pretty smart guy. Heard he went to a fairly prestigious school, Pilly, the one that you went to as well.
Weren't you neighbours?
Smart fellas.
He lived 2 streets away from me, and I don't think I've ever talked to him in my life.
So you're practically best friends.
Went to the same high school, lived 2 streets away from each other. Don't think I've ever spoken a single word.
Were you in the same year, or?
Yeah, I think so.
There
yeah.
you go. Was he like the cool guy at school, or?
I'm pretty sure he was like the cool, like alpha guy in high school, in primary school. Sorry.
Really?
And I was like the, quiet.
That kind of surprises me.
Quiet kid.
I kind of thought he would be the opposite.
Look, it probably wasn't a very alpha school. It was like a bit of a. It was a bit of like a, upmarket neighborhood.
Ah.
Not really much hardship. It wasn't. It's not like we were really breeding people for excellence in terms of being,
You know
alpha
what?
males.
They've actually, wherever you guys are from, you've bred some pretty good Counter-Strike prodigies. Malta in the best team in ANZ, and you're here on the desk commentating him, so done well.
What about the rest of the school?
Give your mum a call. It's Mother's Day, and say, job well done, Mum. Not the same mum as Malta's, obviously. Just want to clarify.
I think if I had those kind of genes, I might be sitting in the server right now, but every time I've ever played any of these guys, they have absolutely smacked me. In Order, running into some difficulties, losing Alistair early on here. Ricky's got the AWP over here towards Ivy. Order like to do this from time to time. Leave a different B-side anchor over there towards inner instead of Ricky and give him the AWP and let him see if he can find anything for Order, and he'll need to. in a round like this.
Well, there's minimal utility remaining for Order to fend off the aggression. Renegades, however, right as rain to Exi on either side, and we are going to see them slowly but surely slink their way towards Brown Halls now. Malta with full control here, but it looks like Order, they are going to go for the gamble stack. 3 men here that now Renegades have to get past. Is it going to be enough? Gyra will be first point of contact. Actually, I think it's Ustillo.
Well, Ustillo's in a good spot. He's gotten rid of Hats, and Dexter does a huge chunk of damage there as well, with Gyro's going to help out. And finishes off Sicko. The bomb's dropped. Renegades surely lose the round from here. Great work from Gyra in the end with that FAMAS. Yeah. As he finishes off Malta as well. A 4K for him. Ustillo, he only ended up getting that 1 kill.
Imagine if he lost that FAMAS at the end of last round. He wouldn't have been able to do that, would he, Mac?
No, certainly not. But what a call with just 30 seconds on the clock to go and stack the B site. Looking at the numbers, they thought that that was certainly the way that it could have worked out. Or even just if you looked at the amount of utility they had to fight somewhere, and they hedged their bets towards the A site in the previous round. Didn't quite work out this time with the utility. Didn't really have any defensive utility to try and hold the A site, so B site was the go. And again, that's another round for Order. 1 more.
Malta has thrown that molly right on top of Alistair. It's burnt him down to 55. Still, it's looking like a good round here for Order. Double AWP setup. All the utility in the world that they could hope for. Sicko hasn't connected the shot onto Gyra either.
Renegades has got a pretty good buy as well, though. Spread out around the map. Looking to see if they can find any picks. Order a fair bit of cash in the bank. They've got a big round buffer here. Would say they're in prime position to be closing out the first map here. The question is, can Renegades claw a few back? Spoke to the players the other day about how important it is to get a few rounds on the tail end of a very one-sided game. Really assist in that momentum. Alistair under a lot of pressure here.
Oh, he's locked in. And Renegades, they know it as well, but still takes one with him, so the trade will still favour Renegades given the situation. Yeah. That's a huge amount of map control lost there at Ivy.
Time is starting to slow down a little bit though. Renegades only 35 seconds left, and if Gyra is as clean as he was last round, this will be tough for that T side. Sicko's ready and waiting for the push though of the green train. Now double stack in SL, Renegades have to deal with. A pop flash out from Ricky does allow Valiance out from SL, and he's tagged ins down something chronic. Surely he just spams through the smoke, but he does not. Sicko will fall out in no man's land. The bomb's not even been planted here, and Renegades are in a shambles. This is going to be map point now for Order. Malta just has to back away, has to give the round up, and Order 15-7.
Again, perfect decision-making. The timing of that pop flash out of SL denies the bomb plant on the side of A site there. And continuing to creep forward, Ricky even drawing some extra attention just to allow the space for Val and Ustillo to go ham on the retake. And it wasn't even a bomb plant retake, it was just the site. The site was completely lost after the Ivy player went down. You had Gyra on the top of green that just unfortunately couldn't find the right angle. And he fell as well. But still, somehow, Order, they are putting it together today. Everything coming cohesive.
I just want to clarify, I definitely would say that to Malta at LAN. And have on multiple occasions.
I think Order have plenty to say to Malta at the moment. They're up 15-7.
Well, it's not just Malta.
They were saying the other day, you know, if some of the rounds just went their way, those clutch rounds when it gets close, could have been a different series. And we're seeing it today. All of these close rounds, all of these rounds where we get into the nitty-gritty, Order's making some great reads, some great calls, playing off of each other very, very well. They look very switched on here against the Renegades, and they're winning all of them.
Yep. Certainly a bit of something special going on today for Order as they set up for yet another A defense. Renegades have slowed things down after the initial sprint into T-Con, but they'll just play contact out onto the A site. Ustillo, they'll have to face them. He's got a double kill, and Valiant spams through for the 3rd kill as well. That's surely the map over and done with. Sicko and Malta, the last surviving members here for Renegades, and it has been a fairly lackluster performance from them on train.
Renegade's going to change things up and head back towards Inner. Gyra awaits them there with a whole bunch of utility on his belt. I think it would be a little bit of a misplay if he lets the T's into this bomb site for free.
Speaking of utility, there is a lack of that for Renegades, so they're just going to have to risk it. Fight with their guns in hand, and Gyra has a whole lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he can't hold that site. So now that's another opportunity found as Malta's down on 20.
Ricky has sealed the deal onto Malta, so it's now just Sicko. 1-on-3, and he's spotted out Valiance early. Gives himself a shot here as he backs away, but he can really only play around the oil train, and there's only so many places you can go when you're stuck at the back of oil train. Alistair gets the kill, Ricky gets the defuse, Order gets the map, 16-7 over Renegades, and here we go. The